Road in Ndia, Kirinyaga County. Now, according to Kirinyaga West Sub-County Police Commander Moses Koskei, a lorry that was heading towards Sagana direction carrying bags of maize lost control and hit two private vehicles that were heading towards Karatina direction. Koskei said investigations are ongoing to establish the cause of the accident, noting that the driver of the lorry also sustained injuries.
Lori yenye ilikuwa imetoka pande ya Karatina ikielekea Nairobi imekuta gari mbili zilikuwa zinaendelea zikienda ikaigonga na hapo ajali ikapatikana.
Lori moja ambayo ilikuwa imebeba mahindi imeweza kupoteza mwelekeo na ikaweza kugonga gari zingine mbili ambazo ni za gari ndogo, na watu watano wakaweza kupoteza uhai wao, mmoja akiwa ni mwanamke na wengine wanne wakiwa ni wanaume.
Barabara kama inapomalizwa tuangaliwe ni vipi inaweza fanyika ndio magari yaache kuwa na mwendo wa kasi sana. Hiyo lori ilikuwa imebeba mahindi, mzigo wa mahindi, na mahindi ukiangalia hapa mahali tuko imetapakaa zaidi vibaya sana, na tuna huzuni tele kwa sababu hata ile njaa iliko na mahindi inafanya imetapakaa hivi. So serikali tuangalie haya maneno ya hii barabara.
Now, a coalition of Kenyan legislatures and the Law Society of Kenya is now urging the government to disclose the full amount spent on the cancelled Adani deals. Additionally, they want the terms of the contract with Adani Group subsidiaries to be made public, particularly concerning any penalties that might be incurred if either party withdraws, despite assurances from the Treasury Cabinet Secretary John Mbadi. That is Joel Chacha with more on that story.
I don't see any possibility of losing any money. Compensating them for what? For doing what? Because the only thing is the amount they paid, which would be refunded.
Shortly after President William Ruto, who issued a State of the Nation address, the Treasury boss John Mbadi made an assurance that despite cancellation of the Adani deals, no compensation was required.
Even that one which is signed can be negotiated and can still be cancelled.
However, legislators now say it's not enough assurance until a contract signed between the Kenyan government and the Indian-based Adani Group will be made public.
Mbadi can only say that they will not be compensated if the contract say that in the event of cancellation of this deal, then this implies that we will not be able to do this and that. But Chacha, I can tell you for a fact that if we don't take that route of proper transparency on the contracts as they were right then and right now, we will still have this smoke of whether there's truth around Adani, and this thing will just keep on being on our head.
The Law Society of Kenya, through a statement to newsrooms, has also called on the government to disclose the funds already committed to the deal before its cancellation.
The truth is that for a 98 billion power investment, for a 238 billion JKI upgrade investment, surely, Chacha, there will be some diligence commitment, right? Number one, you cannot come up with engineers' estimates without engineers visiting sites, looking at the capacity of that airport, being able to do some work with some accountants to help them come up with figures. For the power plant that were the power deals that were supposed to be done with K24, there's definitely some environmental impact assessment that must be done. There are a lot of appraisals in general that I'm talking about.
LSK and legislators are also calling for an investigation into potential corruption linked to the swift public-private partnership process. They stress that if any wrongdoing is uncovered, officials involved should face legal consequences.
The problem was, one, how Adani deal came to be known by the public. That was not the right thing.
If there are wrongdoing which have been done in the process of this Adani deal, regardless if it has been done by who, let the law take its course. If there are money which have been shared, I don't know, as you are saying, to whichever account, let us know. Let the law take its course.
Joel Chacha, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni has slammed President Ruto for his continued lies at the expense of Kenyans. Kioni bashed the president concerning the cancellation of the Adani deal involving the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport and Katrako Company, a move he said was a result of the U.S. indictment and not President Ruto's wish. The Jubilee Party leaders now want all the government officials responsible in the Adani deal arrested and arraigned in court for misusing public funds.
Honorable Speakers of Parliament.
Just a day after the president gave his state address of the nation, the opposition under the Jubilee Party have come out guns blazing, bashing the president for his comfortable nature of weaving tales to suit his agenda.
What is it that you want to do next?
According to Jubilee Party Secretary General Jeremiah Kioni, the president was forced to cancel the controversial Adani deal only after the U.S. government called out the Indian conglomerate Adani Group for allegedly being involved in a corruption scandal.
Kama sio wa Amerika, Ruto alikuwa ametusamisha. Yale aliongea jana kule bugeni, sio kwa sababu alikuwa anataka kufukuza Adani, but it's kwa sababu at the middle of the night here, but it is early in the morning in the US. That is when the US government spoke and they said they are looking for the Adani because of they are alleged to have committed some crimes on that side.
The Jubilee leaders further questioned the president's honesty on why he had not cancelled the Social Health Authority deal with the Adani Group even after allegedly having signed over 104 billion Kenyan shillings into the deal.
104 billion because of an app. Why is it that they didn't cancel? He didn't call for the cancellation of that one. Ama wamekura zaidi pade hiyo hawezi wakarudisha pesa.
Who are these Kenyan officials who never did due diligence? They need to be arrested and they need to leave offices.
AUC candidate Raila Odinga was part of the discussion as the leaders claimed the current abductions witnessed in the country could easily taint the picture of Odinga, hindering his candidature at the African Union.
Leaders who come to this country and they come on our own visas, they come knowing that we are peace-loving people, they come with the full respect of us as Kenyans, and then we behave like animals to them. It is something that is not good and doesn't help our reputation as Kenyans. And that doesn't even help Baba himself when he's looking for a seat at the AU. When you are behaving this way locally, there's no way anybody can honor you with a seat uko nje. Kwa hivyo afadhali kurudi nyumbani tusubuane hapa mapema.
The Jubilee Secretary General further called on the president to seek a lasting solution for ending the femicide cases in the country. Meanwhile, Jubilee Party leaders gathered at the party's headquarters in Nairobi to strategize for the future, including plans to open more offices nationwide as they gear up for the next general elections. Anthony Kwemoi, K24 TV, Nairobi.
Now, President William Ruto's leadership is under scrutiny, with many questioning whether he truly listens to the people or only to selected voices. From protests against the finance bill to controversy surrounding the Adani JKIA deal, his decisions have often come after sustained public pressure or external events. Yet key voices from stakeholders, experts, and even ordinary citizens are frequently dismissed. Brian Amwai examines the voices that truly influence Ruto's decisions.
Ili taifa letu la Kenya tuweze kutembea pamoja kama wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya.
This has been President William Ruto's mantra, a statement he often used during his campaigns and after taking office. He has portrayed himself as a man with a clear agenda for the country. But as he continues to learn the ropes of his presidency, questions are emerging. Is he truly listening to the people? President Ruto rose to power with the backing of ordinary Kenyans. Still, once in office, his actions often suggest that the citizens' voices are a secondary concern and his word is final. His decision to cancel the Adani JKIA Katrako deal has sparked mixed reactions.
Kama sio wa Amerika, Ruto alikuwa ametusamisha. Yale aliongea jana kule bugeni, sio kwa sababu alikuwa anataka kufukuza Adani.
For months, Kenyans have raised their voices against Adani's involvement. The opposition, activists, and even some of Ruto's own allies pointed out the risks. Protests erupted at JKIA. The courts were flooded with cases and public outcry dominated the airwaves and social media. Despite these loud voices and persistent objections, Ruto and his government defended Adani's deal. However, when allegations of fraud surfaced against the Indian billionaire in the United States, President Ruto abruptly cancelled the contracts, begging the question: was it the Kenyan people he was listening to or external pressures?
But at the same time, the president, being the custodian of the party's manifesto, being the vision bearer of the government, and convinced that the project, the Adani deals, is for the good of Kenyans, he has a right to hold on to his guns until when a time like USA provides evidence that backs the suspicions of Kenyans that Adani may not be the angel that he may think he is. In the light of new evidence and the consistent disapproval by Kenyans, the president did not have an alternative other than to cancel the deal.
Stakeholders, including Catholic bishops and experts, have voiced concerns about the competency-based curriculum, the Social Health Insurance Fund, and the new university funding model. They argue these policies are failing Kenyans, yet the president and his administration insist they are working. In June and July, young Kenyans took to the streets to protest against the Finance Bill 2024. The government's resolve to pass the bill remained unshaken despite lives lost and property destruction. Only after the damage was done did the president reconsider his stand. Similarly, the president's move to dissolve his cabinet after protest citing public opinion seemed short-lived when a good number of the same team was reinstated weeks later to the chagrin of the citizens. In Parliament, standing ovations and unwavering support from MPs often accompany the president's decision, even when these actions contradict public sentiment. Those around him seem to not be conveying the true voice of Kenyans. Instead, they're shielding him from it. A president in power 2 years after elections, Mama Mboga and Boda Boda have their voices on the streets, and no matter how loud they shout, those voices do not seem loud enough to reach the house on the hill, whose voices then influence the decision of the first in command. Brian Amoai, K24.
And with that story, we're taking a short break right here on Friday Live. Do stay with us. We have more after the break.
As the sun rises, so do we, as we trust it to rise and set without any worries interrupting your day. StarTime's home solar solution with solar panels, hybrid inverter, and lithium battery, powering your prosperity and happier life, empowering you to do the things